Morrow wide open from the far side. The long pass to Davila, opening him up for three, and he drains it.
Great hustle by Mike Traficante. Cosquet drives inside now, and he gets the bucket. Rejected by Alex Masick. He covered a lot of ground to make that play.
Rejected by Caden Kelly on the defensive end.
And now here's Tamani for three, and he knocks it down. Great ball movement there. Arcudi will toss it up from long range, and there it is. Back-to-back three-point shots.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome inside the Milford High School Gymnasium. I'm Anthony Mazzini. I will be joined by Tim Coet in just a moment, and we are happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV. Tonight's game features two of the Davenport Division's top teams. Milford is the new number one, and they are fresh off of a home win versus Canton on Tuesday night. That win put Milford to 3-2 in league play and 5-4 overall. Milford TV had coverage of that 61-54 win, but in case you missed it, Zach Tamani was spectacular. He paced the Milford offense with 22 points. Shane Cosquet added 13 points, and Caden Kelly did what he does best. He recorded his Hawkamock best fifth double-double of the season with 10 points and 19 rebounds. But it was the Scarlet Hawks defense that kept the top scorers in check for Canton. Canton's Devin Foster only had 9 points, and Tony Harris only scored 15. Milford is now riding a two-game win streak after their win against Stoughton last week and Canton on Tuesday, and they will host Foxboro tonight. Foxboro checks in at number 2 in the Davenport Division, but they are coming off a loss against Stoughton on Tuesday, 52-43. That loss put them to 2-3 in league play and 3-4 overall. Joe Morrison had a team-high 15 points in the loss for the Warriors, so Milford will have their work cut out for them again on the defensive end. Morrison is top 20 in scoring at about 12 a game, and he is joined by teammate Mark Clagg, who averages about 15 a game. That puts him at 5th in the Hawkamock League. Foxboro does have some quality wins, especially against the Kelly Rex foe King Philip, and a dominant win against Davenport opponent Sharon. But the defending Davenport Division champs do have some bad losses, especially blowout losses against Mansfield, Franklin, and Westwood. So Foxboro will look to add some consistency starting tonight, and as I bring in my broadcast partner, Tim Coet. Tim, both teams have something to play for tonight. Milford is, like I said, riding that two-game win streak, and Foxboro will look to get back in the win column with a quality league win tonight.
This is always an exciting matchup in the Davenport when these two teams get together. It's always a good rivalry, and Foxboro has really sort of been Davenport Division royalty when it comes to basketball the last several seasons. But when you look at the turnover on their roster this year, they lost their 3 leading scorers from a season ago, 3 high-quality players, 3 of the top players in all of the Hawkamock League, and Alex Dubrow, Rob Lowy, and also Jason Procaccini. So this is a team that's kind of looking to find a new identity, and for Milford, they've been close. There have been some hard-fought close battles with Foxboro over the last few seasons, but the Warriors have gotten the best out of them. Milford looking for some revenge here tonight.
And as you mentioned, those top 3 scorers are gone from last year's team, and this is a Foxboro team, as I mentioned, that won the Davenport Division last season, made it all the way to the Division II South semifinal, and they finished the year 19-5. Milford also made the playoffs last year, though, so this one has all the makings for a great game tonight. Tip-off is next. We will be right back to continue our coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV. Welcome back to the action, everyone. Anthony Mazzini alongside Tim Coet, and we are happy to bring you the starting lineups for tonight's game between Milford and Foxboro. But first for Foxboro, Mark Clagg, number 33, Joe Morrison, number 31, Brendan Board, number 24, Jermaine Few, the captain, number 12, and fellow captain Teddy Mayhair, number 5. And for Milford, it's the traditional starting lineup. Anthony Arcudi, number 1, Shane Cosquette, number 2, Zach Tamani, number 14, Caden Kelly, number 21, and Alex Masick, number 22. And Foxboro controls the tip right off the bat. And that one goes in for Foxboro, 2-0 to Foxboro, excuse me. Zach Tamani with the drive, and he's called for the travel. Got tripped on the way, but he got called for the travel first.
And not exactly a pretty first possession of the game for the Scarlet Hawks. Meanwhile, on the other side of the floor, Foxboro wasting no time to get on the scoreboard.
Foxboro breaks Milford's press fairly easily, almost a quick trap. Instead, the missed shot, Masick corrals the rebound, gets it to Tamani. They look to run right away. Pass up to Caden Kelly, can't quite handle it, throws it away. Mark Clagg now with the ball. Mark Clagg, a 4-year varsity player for Foxboro. Swings it out to Morrison. Now with Mayer. Back out to Morrison. 12 left on the shot clock. Back to Morrison. Now Mayer. And that shot missed from the corner. No rim on that one. Tamani gets the rebound. He pushes up ahead, almost loses it. Now it's with Cosquette, and he resets the offense. 15 left on the shot clock for Milford. Kelly gets it, and he draws a foul on the floor.
Milford looking a little anxious out there on the floor through these early seconds. These first few possessions have been a little bit sloppy, uncharacteristically so.
Friday night game, big crowd. Nerves could be getting the best of Milford tonight. Now to Arcudi. No headband for Arcudi tonight. Gets it down low at Kelly. He posts up. Good back to the basket move. He's not able to get it though. Gets his own rebound and he puts it in. Caden Kelly gets Milford on the board with his first two points of the night. Almost a steal by Arcudi. And now the steal by Tamani. He takes it right to the hoop. Finishes with his right hand for 2.
This is more like it out of the Scarlet Hawks.
Press was very effective that time, and they get right back in it as usual. Clagg now in the corner. Morrison looks for someone to pass to. And they get it over the midcourt line. Now it's Clagg in the corner. He rims out. Kelly corrals the rebound. One-handed pass up ahead to Masick. He takes it. Dishes it out to Arcudi. He shoots for 3. Rebound collected by Mayer, and he slows the tempo down.
Yeah, Arcudi's been a little bit out of sorts offensively in these last few games. His points per game now dipping under 10.
We haven't seen him really have a good game since that win against Tantascwa in the Scarlet Hawk tournament when he dropped 22 points.
It's probably the headband's fault. That's why it's not there tonight.
Yeah, he's probably a little superstitious, but doesn't look as much like the Karate Kid as he usually does. Good pass down low for Foxboro. Tamani with the active hands. He knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with Foxboro. Teddy Mayer will be the inbounder for Foxboro. He gets it out to Clagg. Clagg with a long 3, and he knocks it down. Mark Clagg with his first 3 points of the night, and that'll put Foxboro up 5-4 with about 5 minutes left to play in the first quarter.
Clagg, the most veteran presence out there, making that presence felt early.
And with Foxboro losing 3 of their top scorers, he was relied upon as a 4-year player on the varsity team to be active in the scoring, and he's certainly done that. Like we mentioned in the open, 15.5 points a game now for the senior. He has it now. Gets it over to Mayer. Good active hands by Cosquette. He takes it right to the hoop, and he finishes with the right hand. Good up and up scoop move. That puts Milford up 6-5. Now it's Board. He gives it to Morrison. Over to Few. Now with Board over to Morrison. And Mayer Thought that Few was looking. Nobody was there for the pass, and that'll go as an unforced turnover for Foxboro.
You can't make mistakes like that with this active Milford student section. They'll let you know every time you made a mistake.
You don't want to make mistakes like that, too, against Milford's defense. They're one of the stingiest in the Hockomock League. We'll get a foul down low. You mentioned that Milford defense. They're only allowing about 52.8 points per game. Kelly down low now. Little turnaround jumper, and he gets that one to go.
It's been a good battle in this first quarter between Caden Kelly and Jermaine Few down low. So far, Kelly's gotten the better of it.
That one's deflected by Arcudi, still ends up with in the hands of Board, and he fires that one into the fan section, almost knocked a few cheerleaders out along the way. Good dodgeball skills by the cheerleaders, and that one will go back to Milford. That one will get the crowd's attention for sure. Cosquet now calls the play. Good behind the back move, leaves flag in the dust, sends it down low to Masick. Kelly again, and Kelly's hot from the start. That's 6. And a timeout for Foxboro. Caden Kelly with 6 early points. 10-5 Foxboro. Got the cheerleaders coming out for a rendition. We'll take the timeout too, 10-5. 3:22 left in the first quarter. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the action. Milford up 10-5 against Foxboro, and it's been all Caden Kelly so far. He's up to 6 points, and he entered the year as his junior year as one of the Hockomock's most watched players. He averaged 10.3 rebounds per game as a sophomore last year. Only averaged 5.5 points, but he's really amped up his game this year as that one will go out of bounds. We'll stay with Foxboro. Kelly's also a triple jump star in the spring for Milford's track and field team, so he's a very, very good athlete, and we can see it the way he attacks the glass. Same lineups out there for both teams. Flag in the corner. He looks to get it to Few, and he does. Now it's Morrison on the drive. He pulls up for a jumper, front rim, and it gets to Kelly again.
Yeah, Caden Kelly, just the absolute star of this first quarter to this point.
Looks to get a post move now, can't get it. Now he gets the ball again, kicks it out to Cosquet. He'll shoot the 3. Rims out, but Kelly again on the glass. Can't corral that one, tips it, and ends up in the hands of Board. On the shot clock for Foxboro. Bad pass by Few. Flag drives, kicks it out to Morrison. Now the one pass to Board. He'll shoot the 3. Far iron, and Tamani gets the rebound again. Milford looks to push, one-handed pass. They love those one-handed passes. But that time, Arcudi in the corner can't handle it, and it'll go back to Foxboro.
A little too hot to handle that time for Anthony Arcudi. It'll give Foxboro the chance to inbound.
Substitution for Foxboro, number 13, Matt Rongione, into the game for Teddy Mayer. Foxboro having trouble getting it past the midcourt line, but they do. Foxboro team averages 55.4 points per game, and they're allowing 59.7, so they're getting outscored. And another miss that time. Masick gets the rebound. Gets it to Tamani, excuse me.
Yeah, the difference between these two teams right now are those defensive numbers. Offensively, they're averaging the same exact points per game, but Foxboro allowing 59.7 points per game. Milford's defense allowing just 52.8.
Good pick and roll with Arcudi and Kelly, but that time it results in a turnover. Back in the hands of Foxboro. Gets it up to Flag. Milford doing a good job again on the opponent's best scorer. Good hustle by Tamani. He's not able to get it. Now it's with Flag. Now down low to Few. He goes up and under in a nifty move for 2. Jermaine Few had 13 points in the Warriors' latest loss against Stoughton last time out. Floater by Cosquet. He doesn't get that one to go, and it's Few with a rebound. Few is the only player on this Foxboro team who has a double-double. Now we're going to get a turnover again. Excuse me, a foul. Nate Davila coming into the game, along with Brendan White. Arcudi and Masick will go to the bench for Milford. And into the game for Foxboro, replacing Flagg, is number 11, Anthony Barrera, excuse me. Milford feeding the ball to the hot hand Kelly down in the post. They kick it back out. Back down low to Kelly, one dribble. 10 left on the shot clock for Milford. They got to get one up. Kelly gets it. Good pass down low to Tamani. He's not able to finish the easy one, but he gets jumped on. That one looked unintentional by Few, went up for the block, and Tamani didn't go. He'll get called for that foul.
Tamani frustrated after the play.
It was a little bit of a dangerous play by Few, but like I said, that one did not look intentional. Looked like he just got caught in the air there and ended up on Tamani's back. Davila hands it off to Cosquet. They'll run a play. 7 seconds left to go in the quarter. That one went by fast. Cosquet with the three. Misses the iron completely. Only backboard. Board with the half-court heave, and he makes it. Brendan Board from well past half-court. And that one might shift momentum. Now tied 10-10, and what a shot. What a shot. But that'll finish the first quarter. Wow, that one's got me all screwed up. 10-10, Foxboro and Milford. We'll be right back to continue coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. Right back to the action. Anthony Mazzini and Tim Coetta on the call. And what an exciting finish to the end of that first half, Tim. First quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, Milford going into those final seconds thinking they were going to have a three-point advantage heading into the second quarter, but the freshman on the Foxboro squad, Brandon Board, had other things to say about it from about 3/4 of the way down the floor. He was able to get the bank shot in for 3 points to tie this game. What a play.
And the pace of that first quarter too, Tim. They heard the crowd starting chanting 7-6-5. I thought it was the shot clock. I look up and the quarter's already over, and a quick turnover by Tamani. Good strip, though, by Cosquet. That one could have been an easy 2 points for Anthony Barrera. But good hands by Cosquet. Sloppy play by Tamani. Ball will stay with Foxboro.
Yeah, mistake creating the opportunity for Foxboro, but fortunately Cosquet with the big defensive play. Foxboro keeps possession, though.
Davila, Cosquet, Tamani, White, and Kelly out there on the floor for Milford. Floater for Foxboro doesn't go. Barrera, Morrison, Board. Out there for Foxboro as that one goes for Milford.
Yeah, quick feed into Tamani. The pass handcuffed him a bit, but he was able to recover and get the easy layup.
Also out there for Foxboro, Matt Rongione. And number 22, Joe Bartuca, freshly into the game as Morrison spots up for a three, front rim. Can't get that one to fall. He's been cold so far. As Cosquet handles the ball, now gets a pass half court. Sloppy pass by Kelly. You don't like to see him out there on the behind the arc. You like to see him down low, and he pays for it that time with the turnover. Pass down low, and that one will go for Foxboro. That one will be Anthony Barrera.
Pretty much what you would expect in these early minutes of the first half. Close back and forth game between the top two teams in the Davenport.
That time a foul against Foxboro. Arcudi checks back into the game, replaces Shane Cosquet. This Foxboro team, as we mentioned, won the Davenport Division last year. Finished the season with a 19-5 record. They also have Davenport Division wins in 2003 and 1994, while Milford, who's a little bit newer to the league, won in 2013. That's their sole league win. League championship, I should say. Now they run a play for Davila off a screen, can't finish. A foul will go against Milford. That was Joe Bartuca, excuse me, with the rebound.
Anthony Arcudi back out on the floor. No points for Arcudi so far in this first half.
And they're really going to need some offense. It's gone mostly through Caden Kelly, but he hasn't scored in a few minutes now. And now it'll go as a block. Looked like Brendan White was there with his feet set, but the referees didn't see it that way. And Anthony Barrera will go to the line for 2.
Interesting call there. It looked like Brendan White was completely motionless there, set in place, but the foul going against him.
Barrera makes the first one at the line. Masick checks back into the game, replaces White. Makes both of them. 14-12 Foxboro. 6:10 left in the second quarter. It's been an exciting one so far. Caden Kelly with the fake at the top of the key, kicks it out to Davila. He shoots the 3. That one doesn't fall, and it's Mayer with the rebound. Morrison and Mayer, a little 2-man game. Passing along the perimeter for Foxboro. Milford will be content if they do that all night. Pass down low to Barrera. He's been the hot hand off the bench for Foxboro, but that time no good, and Kelly gets the rebound. Looks like that one went against Bartuka. Kelly sets the screen. Tamani breaks free, kicks it out to Davila. That looked like a design play to get him a shot, and he knocks it down. Nate Davila with his first 3 points of the night. Milford's now back in front, 15-14. Good trap in the corner, but Foxboro breaks it. Mayer gets it across in the hands of Barrera. Now Mayer. Barrera again, a little floater at the top of the key. And he gets that one to fall for 2. Sorry, Tim.
Good vision on the floor that time for Foxboro. Anthony Barrera taking that pass. He had a wide open look.
He's been the hot hand off the bench. Mark Flagg, their leading scorer, has been fairly inactive so far. It's been Barrera who's taken on most of the scoring load so far. Masick thinks about a 3. Spin move in the lane, a little too hard. Keeps the rebound alive. It gets to Kelly. Good save by Masick, but that one ends up in the hands of Morrison for Foxboro. He goes 2-on-1, takes it right at Tamani. He draws the foul. Joe Morrison, a junior for Foxboro. He's also a standout on the soccer pitch. In 2 seasons with Foxboro, he scored 28 goals and 26 assists, good for 54 total points in his soccer career. He's also was named Underclassman of the Year in 2014, 2-time Hockomock League All-Star in soccer, and he was named twice to the Hockomock Best 9. So very talented athlete.
Multi-sport athlete, that's something that Milford Athletic Director Peter Boucher certainly appreciates.
Misses the second free throw, and now we'll go back to Milford off the hands of Barrera. Zach Tamaro checked into the game during that free throw from Milford. 17-15 Foxboro, 4.5 left in the second quarter. 20 on the shot clock left now for Milford. Gets it to Tamaro in the corner. Kelly juggles it, looks to pass, and he travels. Sloppy play, a couple sloppy plays now for Milford. Coach Seaver noticed it, and he calls a timeout.
Well, the passing just has not seemed as crisp for Milford throughout this entire first half. They were able to get into a little bit of a rhythm earlier in this second quarter, but overall we've seen a lot of dangerous passes. We've seen a lot of sloppy ball handling. Milford's going to need to clean that up as the night goes on.
And Tim, there are just so many similarities between these 2 games. That's why it's so evenly contested right now. Both teams lose significant scoring threats. For Milford, it was Dimitri Torres and Dwight Anderson, who averaged 14.5 and 12.7 respectively last year. They lose those 2. And for Foxboro, is just as much the same. They lost their top 3 scorers, as you mentioned in the pregame. Alex DeBro, Jason Procaccini, excuse me for the mispronunciation, and Robbie Lowy. So both of these teams came into the season knowing they had some scoring to fill, and I think they've both found some reliable scorers on either side.
Yeah, I think it looks for Foxboro like they're still trying to figure out exactly where the scoring is going to come from beyond Clegg and Morrison. They obviously have a freshman stud they feel very good about in Brendan Board. You can see he's a little bit raw out there, but you can clearly see that there is some talent to build on.
And he was the one that made that amazing A long three-point shot at the end of that first quarter, so he's one to watch in this game as well. We're back to action now after that Milford timeout. Mayer, Morrison, Barrera, Clegg, and Few out there for Foxboro. And Barrera gets called for the travel. Looks like Caden Kelly had an impact, just held his hand straight up, and nobody wants to go into that. That'll be a turnover. And the Milford crowd lets him know it. 17-15 still halfway through the second quarter. And another sloppy pass by Milford. That one looks like it was tipped by Foxboro. The referees talking to each other now.
You can see the official behind the play was motioning that it was a tipped ball.
And the referees can't decide who it was off of. So they'll go to the jump ball, and that'll give the ball back to Foxboro.
Yeah, break for the Warriors. It looked like that should have been Milford ball.
I think they saw that Masick threw the pass and there was nobody there, but I think that one was tipped by Foxboro. But they get the benefit of the doubt, and it's now back down low to Board. He tries to post up, but Masick shuts him down. Now it's Few. Board again, clicks it up to Mayer. Clagg's got to shoot it. He does. And it's an air ball. He had to shoot that one. Shot clock was winding down. But the ball will go back to Milford. That one trickles out of bounds. 3:29 left in the second quarter. This game is just flying by.
It does not seem like there is a three too deep for Mark Clegg. He has no problem unleashing it from far back beyond that arc.
We've seen that a couple times tonight. He's pulled up from quite a distance. Now it's Milford. Kelly down low. They tried to get him a mismatch, but he kicks it out to Tomorrow. Tomorrow rims out. Good box up on Mayer and Clegg. Ends up in the hands of Mayer. And he slows it down. Few is left wide open along the baseline, and he finishes with the up and under for two. Missed assignment there for Milford. Foxboro now goes up by 4. Cosquet in the lane, the floater, he loves that shot, and he'll go to the line. Blocking foul, that one looks like it's going to go on Mayer.
Shane Cosquet not quite finding his groove offensively so far tonight. A real standout performance from Cosquet in the game against Canton on Tuesday. 13 points in that game. Made a lot of good aggressive moves to the hoop. This time here, though, he does get to shoot free throws, although he misses the first.
And Milford is really struggling to find their offensive groove right now. You mentioned Cosquet isn't in form. Arcudi doesn't look in form. Tamani doesn't look in form right now. It's really been the Caden Kelly show for Milford offensively. So they got to look to get some of those scores on track as Cosquet nails the second free throw, and we're back to action. And a good one-touch pass by Morrison looking for Few, but he's unable to handle it. And the referees are going to give that one to Foxboro, and Coach Seaver and everyone who cheers for Milford is upset about that one. That one looks like it should have been Milford.
Yeah, a lot of frustration out there on the floor. Tamani making the smart move and just walking away. A questionable call, to say the least.
Now Clegg controls it. Over to Mayer. Morrison now looks down low. Finds Few, and a good little one-touch pass. Finds Board for 2.
A bit of a deflection, but it ended up right in the hands of Board, and he finishes.
And if you're going to attack that zone, you got to look for the high key area and then look to distribute from there, and that's exactly what Foxboro did. Kelly looked to take a big step and one dribble on that one, get right to the basket, but he's called for the travel. He's playing a lot behind the arc tonight. I think they got to get him more down low to the post.
We saw that early in the first quarter, and it paid dividends immediately for Milford with those 6 points, but nothing from Kelly since.
Foxboro's done a good job cracking down on Hill. Meanwhile, it's Clegg, pump fake, good pump fake. Misses the 3. But it'll go back to Milford now. As Masick checks back into the game, Clegg goes to the bench along with Board. Checking in for Foxboro will be number 20, Bobby Harrison. Cosquet drives to the lane, good down low dish to Tamani, and he draws the foul. That's just a simple backdoor cut by Tamani. Good find by Cosquet. Looks like they're going to call that one. Referees having a lot of confusion there tonight. That one looks like it should have been a shooting foul. Pereira checks back in now for Foxboro, replacing Mayer, and it looks like Tamani will in fact go to the line for free throws. 1-1. Makes the first one.
Yeah, Zach Tamani making a bit of a fashion statement tonight. I don't know if you noticed the socks. I believe that's C3PO on one sock and R2D2 on the other.
I didn't notice that. Good eye, Tim. Makes the second free throw. Tamani came into this game after he averaged 10.4 points per game last season. He's upped that this year. He's up to around 15 now. Puts him in the top 10 in the Hockomock League. He has the ball now. Looks for Tamani. Kelly, excuse me. Kelly with a good save right near our broadcasting station. Cosquet kicks it to Davila. He drives in the lane, tries to go off glass, but to no avail as Foxboro corrals the rebound. Matt Rongione handling the ball duties now with Flagg on the bench. Good passing, good ball movement for Foxboro. That was a wild shot, didn't hit anything. Cosquet in transition gets the ball, takes it right to the hole and finishes with his right hand for two. Less than a minute to go in the first half. Foxboro only up one now. Good defense on the sideline by Milford. But he'll stay with Foxboro. Akudi checks back into the game. Tamani, with his fancy socks, will go to the bench.
Well, I don't want to go too deep into the fashion assessment on this team, but I do believe that Shane Cosquet might have Chewbacca on his socks. So there is a Star Wars theme out there tonight, Anthony. It's got to be Friday the 13th. You might as well bring out the fashion.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything too crazy yet, and let's hope we keep it that way. You don't want anything getting out of hand as now Foxboro launches a three, and what a rejection by Caden Kelly. He came out of nowhere. Foxboro looked like they had the easy layup, but Caden Kelly with his big paw just came out of nowhere and swatted that one.
The Milford bench absolutely loves it.
And that one will get the crowd going. 27 seconds still left on the shot clock. 35 in the game, in the half, excuse me. And there's the momentum after that Caden Kelly block. Foxboro throws that one into the Milford bench. And Tamani will now check back into the game. Places Masick. And just what a shot block by Caden Kelly. He's a man down low. Whether it be on the offensive end or the defensive end, he just has his way down there.
That rejection just reverberating throughout this gym, just one single play. We'll see if it ends up shifting the momentum here for Milford, a chance to take the lead perhaps going into the half.
And I don't think they keep track of blocks on HockomockSports.com, but I would say he averages at least 2 a game, and one of them is usually a big one like that. And now he looks to get the ball down low. Milford around the perimeter, passing the ball now, not getting anything towards the hoop. Cosquet drives on Barrera, looks for Kelly. 7 left on the shot clock. Milford's got to get one up. It'll be Kelly who shoots it. Has it blocked, gets his own rebound, throws it off glass, and it's Tamani there. And will that one count? That ball did go in. Tough to see from that side of the gym. There's no scoreboard over there, only a shot clock. It'll be a question of whether or not that ball went in before the game clock hit 0. Unfortunately, we don't have New York to go to get a replay.
Yeah, Coach Seaver is still pleading his case with the officials. It looks like, again, we're going to have a conference here between the two. I have a feeling the official that was closest to the play wants to change the call and wants to count the basket. Now they talk it over, and they'll confer with Coach Seaver again.
And by the looks of the conversation and the body language, it doesn't look like that one will count, but just an excellent play by Tamani to keep that ball alive. We still haven't got official word as to whether that ball will count or not. Both teams have gone to the locker room.
And you can see that final motion from the officials, so they do indeed wave it off. A tough way for the second quarter to end. A great attempt there for Zach Tamani and Caden Kelly. A couple of nice moves to keep the play alive, but still Milford keeping it close.
I mean, they're keeping it close, but this game probably could be a lot more in a better situation for Milford. Their top scorers haven't really scored that much. With that called off basket by Tamani, he's been kept kind of cold. Arcudi, he's been cold. Davila only has that 3-point shot. Cosquet and Caden Kelly have been the main sources of offense so far, but Tim, I think they really got to get those scores going. The defense has been pretty good. It's the offense for Milford that we've seen play so well these last few games that hasn't been doing it right now for Milford.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Defensively, I think this game is right about where Milford expected it to be. But you certainly don't expect to see just 4 points on the score sheet for Zach Tamani. 0 so far in the first half for Anthony Arcudi. And Caden Kelly has those 6 points, but they all came very early in the first half. But I'll tell you, Anthony, we've been covering a lot of these home games for Milford over the last couple of weeks, and they've been heavily one-sided games for the most part. So maybe a good situation for Milford to be in moving forward. They're not all going to be blowouts, so you need to be able to learn how to play and how to adapt in a close game situation, and that's what you've got here tonight.
This will definitely be a learning experience for Coach Seaver and his squad. Like you've said, there's a lot of blowouts at home this year. They love playing at home. But right now it's halftime, 21-20 Foxboro. Milford will look to change their luck a little bit in the second half. It is Friday the 13th, so a lot of things could happen here now on Friday the 13th. Tim Coet, Anthony Mazzini on the call. Tim will be finishing up play-by-play for the second half.
And we welcome you back inside the gymnasium at Milford High School. It is time for the second half in this matchup between Milford and Foxboro. Boys basketball here on Milford TV. Tim Coet alongside Anthony Mazzini, as Milford will have the opening possession of this third quarter, trailing 21-20. As the ball gets swatted away, picked off by Foxboro, they push the tempo up the floor and take it all the way to the basket.
Sloppy passes continue for Milford. That's a few now that they've thrown either out of bounds or right to Foxboro. And Morrison's the recipient of that one, takes it right at the defender's body and gets the foul and goes to the line for 2.
Morrison had just 1 point in the first half. It came from the free throw line. He was able to connect on his first attempt here. Two for 2, it gives Foxboro the 3-point edge now as Cosquet will take it up the floor. Cosquet along with Masick, Tamani, Kelly, and Anthony Arcudi. Masick from the corner, dishes it back outside to Cosquet, running point. The bounce pass into Kelly, works his way inside, takes the contact, and gets the shot.
And that's what Milford's going to have to go back to now. It worked earlier in the first quarter, and then they went away from it. Not sure why they went away from it, because that's their best option right now. Most reliable scorer tonight is Caden Kelly. He's up to 8, and he goes to the line to try to convert the 3-point play.
Yeah, as we mentioned before the break, 6 early points in the first quarter for Caden Kelly, but he was held quiet from there on. Can't finish off the 3-point play, however.
You don't see that too often. You chase down your own rebound. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get it. That time he chased it and he didn't get it.
Jermaine Few again, that up and under move. This time it doesn't fall. Cosquet bounces off some contact at midcourt, accelerates to the basket and gets 2.
And that was a good little stutter step around midcourt. Just put the Foxboro defender on his heels, and Cosquet blew right by him. Was able to get the easy basket with his right hand. Good play by Shane Cosquet.
Kelly and Arcudi pestering in the backcourt, but Foxboro able to advance, and it gives a good look for Few under the basket.
Few's up to 6 points now. He's putting together a solid night on both the glass and getting the ball in the hoop.
Kelly, a hard pass inside to Zach Tamani. Now back to Kelly. And again, Caden Kelly gets fouled inside.
And Coach Seaver is not happy about that call. I don't think Caden Kelly was either. This one's starting to get a little bit heated. Let's hope that all tempers remain under control.
Milford pressing in the backcourt. Passes back and forth between Few and Board. Eventually, the quick pass up the floor. Foxboro loses control, and Milford able to grab the loose ball. Here's Tamani trying to go coast to coast. Bounces off of Brendan Board, the freshman.
And that one might have been a little bit of a makeup call there. Board looked like he had established himself, and Tamani just barreled right into him. He'll get the 2 free throws, but now the Foxboro coach, John Gibbs, is upset with that call.
Yeah, these two teams took on one another on the football field this fall, and particularly the end of that game got a little chippy. You have to wonder if maybe some of those emotions have spilled over now onto the basketball court. Not a whole lot of personnel the same for Milford on the basketball team, with the exception of Caden Kelly and Pat Brajoli.
Well, even in terms of basketball, Tim, these are two teams, as we mentioned in the Open, that are very competitive, both at the top of the Davenport Division, and have some success within the Hockomock League in the past 5 years or so.
Jermaine Few loses control of the basketball under the basket. Once again, Milford now leading 26-25 after those Tamani free throws. A chance now to add on to the lead. And a lot of whistles in the early going of this third quarter. Brendan White now checking back in for Milford. We see Alex Masick head to the bench. Arcudi to inbound. Lobs the pass out to Tamani. Now here's Kosket, loses his footing and gets the basket.
And I think he's going to say to all his friends he meant to do that one, Tim, but he just got tripped along the way. Could have been called a foul against Foxboro. He just threw that one up, but maintained excellent body control, and Shane Kosket with an excellent shot.
Zach Tamani, meanwhile, trying to reach in from behind to get the steal. Gets called for the foul. He hates it.
Coach Seaver doesn't like it either. Tamani has to go to the bench. He's starting to rack up the fouls now. Coach Seaver's going to have to manage him with still a quarter and a half left to play.
Few, a long pass across court with Morrison. Now it's Board who tosses up the shot. No good. Possession going to the Scarlet Hawks as White will inbound it. 5:28 to play in the third quarter. Kosket calling the play before sending the pass away to White, now in the hands of Nate Davila. Davila feeds it to Kelly. Kelly makes the move around Few and gets the bucket.
And he's just on fire on that down low block. Once you bring him out behind the three-point arc, he becomes less effective. So if you're Foxboro, you got to do a good job of cracking down on him on the low block.
Missed layup on the other end for the Warriors before the whistle. Caden Kelly now up to 10 points, and you have to think that he is certainly in double digits in rebounds, so this would make double-double number 6 for Kelly on the season. Shane Kosket makes the steal. Good feed ahead to Davila. He gets the bucket. And again, Milford has the chance for the three-point play.
And Davila actually went into the defender on that drive. He went for the up and under, tried to use the rim as protection, but the defender, Foxboro defender, actually did the opposite of what Davila was expecting him to do, so Davila ended up going into the defender, made it a lot tougher of a shot than it needed to be, but excellent body control by Nate Davila, and he'll go to the line to try to convert the three-point play. Excellent play.
And all of a sudden, Milford with a 7-point advantage with a free throw coming up after the timeout. The Scarlet Hawks starting to put it together offensively in the third quarter with 4:23 to play. We'll be back after this on Milford TV. Milford coming back out of the timeout as we bring you coverage of boys basketball here on Milford TV. Covering the boys tonight, the girls have been in the midst of an elongated stint away from the Milford gym. They'll finally return home next Wednesday for a matchup with Hopedale, which we will have covered here on Milford TV. But the girls, an impressive 6-1 already on the season as Davila misses the free throw.
And just like that girls team, both Milford teams are primed to win right now. They have a lot of junior and senior talent that they brought back from last season. So both Milford teams are looking very good for the future. And like I said, future is bright for the basketball program at Milford High School.
A lot of contact away from the play as Clegg and Kelly came together, and meanwhile on the other side of the floor it's Arcudi who announces his presence late in this game with the 3 ball.
And he's not wearing the headband tonight, and I don't know if that has anything to do with his performance so far, but better late than never getting on the scoreboard, and it came at a big time. Momentum seems to be shifting to Milford, and now he has 3 points. That 3 ignited the crowd. And let's see if Milford can carry this strong play that they've showed early in the second half through the rest of the game.
All of a sudden, a 10-point lead for the Scarlet Hawks. Clag wide open from beyond the arc, but he has lost his touch here so far in the third quarter.
He was a good foot behind the three-point line, and he front rimmed that. A little bit closer, he might have had it.
Davila, a couple of chances underneath the basket. Milford still fighting for possession. It's Brendan White, and he'll get called for the travel.
That was kind of a funny play there. All that ball shifting, there was no foul on that play. That was all ball by both teams. Excellent hustle, especially by Brendan White.
Yeah, at one point you had White and Davila tangled up with one another trying for the offensive rebound, and Milford walks away with no points on that trip, and on the other end of the floor, Jermaine Few chips in another bucket. Few up to 8 points now in the game. Just over 3.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Here's White, the nice move to the basket.
I think everyone on this Milford team is a freshman to the crowd.
Brendan White, if you want to get picky, he is technically a sophomore, but the student section giving him the freshman chant. I believe Alex Masick got it in the last game, the senior.
Mike Traficante got it a couple weeks ago, so I think a lot of these guys are friends. I think these guys got to start paying a little bit closer to their personal relationships.
A foul on the floor. These officials have not had the whistles in the pockets at all in this game.
Saw it last game too, down the end of that fourth quarter in Milford's last game against Canton. It seemed like every 5 seconds there was a foul, so just a little bit more of the same tonight, so we're used to it.
Foxboro thinking about the three instead. A couple of nice passes inside. That frees up Few. And Few now into double figures.
And that was a little hot potato passing there by Foxboro all around the perimeter, and then they found it in the high key. No player on that possession had the ball for more than about a half a second, and just good play by Foxboro to get an easy basket.
Brendan White, another aggressive move to the hoop, and they're going to call the travel. Brendan White getting an arm around the throat, and he ends up getting called for the travel.
A lot of controversy so far with these referees. A couple plays that Coach Seaver hasn't liked, a couple plays that Foxboro's Coach Gibbs hasn't liked. And that one, look, Brendan White did look a little bit out of control on that play, but he took kind of a clothesline around the throat area, and he gets called for the travel.
Coach Seaver again pleading his case to the officials to no avail. Foxboro now perhaps a chance to string some buckets together. Milford playing tight defense as usual. Swing it around to the near side, now feed it into Few. Kelly gets a hand in there, the ball up for grabs, and it's settled down by White, but the pass is picked off by Mark Clag. And finally the whistle goes Milford's way. And again, you wonder if that's a bit of a makeup.
And Coach Gibbs is furious about that call too. He now goes to the bench to get Mayer. A couple of fouls now on Clag, so they got to manage him, but it seems like there have been a few makeup calls so far in this game, and once you start getting to that point, there could be some tempers flaring, so hopefully the referees will be able to control this one.
Nate Davila ball handling before sending the pass Kelly's way. And now trying to get it to Kosket. It ends up ricocheting to White.
Another ill-advised pass by Milford, and another one there as Arcudi turns it over and now gets called for the foul.
Steal made by Anthony Barrera, the captain.
Anthony Barrera is a special case of a starter that doesn't necessarily start. More of a sixth man coming off the bench for Foxboro. But he's been a nice presence tonight for Foxboro coming off the bench.
Meanwhile, Jermaine Few, who has arguably been Foxboro's best player in this game tonight, getting a rest on the bench. The fans doing their best, but good concentration from Barrera, who is now 3 for 3 from the free throw line so far. That time he clanks it off the back of the rim. The ball momentarily up for grabs before Arcudi is able to settle it. Coming down to the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Kelly hesitates. The whistle stops play with 2:05 to go.
The pace of this game has slowed down significantly in the second half. A lot more fouls than we saw in the first half and a lot more stoppages of play and controversy all along the way.
You'd like to see two teams atop the division have a chance to play unimpeded, but the refs have had a bit of a heavy hand in this one tonight. As Caden Kelly knocks down the free throw.
It's amazing to think that Caden Kelly's still only a junior. He has another year left to play, and we talked about it a little bit. He averaged 10.3 rebounds as a sophomore last year, but only 5.5 points. He's certainly up those numbers this year, and if this is how he's playing as a junior, you can only imagine how he's going to be playing as a senior next year.
And Kelly rattles the second one home. Now under 2 minutes to play as Foxboro quickly pushes the pass up the floor. Milford able to get back in numbers, and Kelly steals it. Now to Arcudi, who goes to the basket, can't finish. But yet another foul is called. Arcudi going to the line, sitting on 3 points so far tonight. His first free throw rims out. A make and a miss for Arcudi, 41-30 the score. Milford the lead up to 11. Now Barrera battling against Arcudi and Kelly inside. Foul called on Rangioni, who will go to the line. Matt Rangioni, the junior. Rangioni knocks down 2. That's his first offensive contribution of the night. Puts the Foxboro deficit back to single digits. Kelly long pass to White. White steps up for the 2, drains it.
That was a long 2 by Brendan White. He can stretch the floor a little bit. We haven't seen him do it too much. He's done most of his work down low. But showing a little bit of touch from the outside for Brendan White.
Feels like we're just scratching the surface of the capabilities of Brendan White out there on the floor. Just a gritty player, does the dirty work inside, and now starting to show off a outside jump shot as well.
Well, anytime you're a sophomore playing at the varsity level, you certainly have some talent, and we talk about the future of these programs. Both teams are fairly senior heavy, 5 seniors apiece, but Milford will return 7 juniors, and then Brendan White will be coming back next year. So, someone that gets called upon to play big minutes for Coach Seaver will certainly have a bigger role next year, maybe even a starting role. We'll see.
Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Teddy Mayer back into the game. Gets it back into his hand, swings it into the corner. They release the 3 off the side of the rim. Rebound controlled by Barrera. Mayer passes up the shot. Now the inside feed. Deflected back outside where Foxboro controls. And now the shot clock turned off for the final seconds of this third quarter. Another look for Foxboro, and finally they're able to convert. All kinds of chances, and Morrison able to get the bucket.
Morrison's been quiet tonight, but he was very active on that possession and got an easy layup. I think he gets whistled for the foul here.
Stops the clock with 6.7 seconds to go.
I tell you, these referees don't give you any opportunity to see who that foul was called on. They got very quick fingers when they go over to the scorer's table, but I believe that one was on Morrison.
Puts Shane Cosquet at the line, who knocks down his first free throw. He's 2 for 3 so far on the night. And you can make it 3 for 4.
Cosquet heads to the bench now after those 2 free throws, and Zach Tamaro comes into the game.
Puts the Milford lead back at 11. Foxboro playing for that last shot. They get a good look inside for Barrera.
He knocks it down. Milford doesn't have the opportunity to respond. So one final bucket for the Warriors in the third quarter puts the Milford lead at 45-36. So a much different complexion to that third quarter for Milford than what we saw in the first two quarters, Anthony, particularly on the offensive side of the floor.
Well, the offenses were both stagnant, and we had kind of expected it out of Foxboro. We've said it multiple times, Milford with one of the stingiest defenses in the entire Hawkmock League, but we didn't expect the lack of offensive production that we saw from Milford. Tamani was quiet, Arcudi was quiet. It was really Kelly and Cosquet that carried the Milford offense in the first half, but now we see Tamani coming alive a little bit, Arcudi coming through with his first three, and Shane Cosquet and Caden Kelly continue to do the dirty work and continue to score for Milford in that second half. So they built up a 9-point lead. You didn't expect that coming into the second half, but they're really clicking on all cylinders right now, and they just got to keep up the momentum into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, our score at halftime, 21-20 in favor of Foxboro. Milford scoring 25 points in the third quarter alone, more than doubling their point total. They outscored Foxboro 25-15 in that third quarter, giving them the opportunity to take a 45-36 lead into this fourth quarter. But Milford also took a lead into the fourth quarter against Foxboro in the two teams' second meeting, which came late in the regular season last year, but that was when the Warriors offense really took over, and they ended up turning it into a one-sided game by the end of those 8 minutes. So a lot can happen here, but to start off this fourth quarter, Tamani able to get the steal and takes it the other way for two.
Well, as you mentioned that, Tim, Milford seemed to blow a lot of leads so far this season. They blew one against Franklin earlier in the year, and they had a lead against Medway late in the game, so that's a good start in the fourth quarter, that Tamani layup, but they're going to have to crack down on defense and continue to score points on the offensive end if they want to get a quality home win against a talented Foxboro team tonight.
Kelly gets a partial block there. Tamani now up to 10 points in the game. Over his last 4 games, Zach Tamani has been averaging over 18 points a night. He has really heated up on the offensive side of the floor. He's in the top 10 in terms of points scored per game in the Hockomock League. And the freshman Brandon Board at the free throw line misses on the first attempt.
And Tim, I believe you said it in the last broadcast. This is a very emotional Milford bunch. They really feed off the crowd, and specifically Zach Tamani, who's been around the varsity level for 3 years and is really a senior leader, senior captain. So when the crowd responds to the level of play that Milford's showing, and they're playing very well, especially in the last week and 2 weeks, Zach Tamani has really heated up and stepped up his game to satisfy the crowd, and he's playing some of his best basketball. If he keeps it up, this could be a very dangerous Milford team.
Tamani at the free throw line. Misses on both attempts, so we've seen each side miss on 2 free throw attempts so far in this fourth quarter.
And we've seen some poor free throw shooting out of Milford in some of their games, especially in the fourth quarter, as Morrison knocks down a 3. So Milford, when they get to the line, they're going to have to take advantage if they want to hold this lead.
We've seen very little in terms of outside shooting out of Foxboro all game long. That's a far cry from what we're used to seeing in previous years with the likes of Alex Dubrow and Jason Procaccini on the floor, as Caden Kelly able to get to that ball. He puts up the shot, and Milford ends up in the jump ball. Possession arrow going their way. Inbounds pass out to Zach Tomorrow. Gets a little shove after the play from Teddy Mayer. Caden Kelly makes his way around. Jermaine Few gets his first bucket here in the fourth quarter.
There's just no answer for Caden Kelly down low. As talented as Few is, seems to be a better offensive player than he is defensive player. There's been multiple situations tonight where Kelly's just put his back to Few and just had a quick turnaround move, and Few has had no answer for it. So if I'm Milford, I'm feeding the ball down low to Kelly for the rest of the way.
14 points now in the game for Caden Kelly. He's been averaging 9 points per game.
of his stronger point totals so far of the season, as we'll see Alex Masick head to the bench. Brendan White back out onto the floor.
Something tells me we'll see Caden Kelly crack the top 25 in next week's scoring update, because he's been on fire as of late, not only with the double-doubles, but also with very high scoring loads as well.
49-41, the Milford lead. Here's Kelly, no look pass to White. Now Tamani tries to penetrate inside, can't get the roll around the rim. A whistle stopping play with 5:52 to go. The score starting to tighten up a bit.
Yeah, Tamani drew 2 defenders on that drive. He had Kelly wide open. Unfortunately, Foxboro did a good job, especially Few down low. Really cut off all angles for Tamani to pass or shoot. Good defensive stand by Foxboro. If only Tamani could get that ball to Kelly, could have been an easy layup.
Timeout called on the floor again. 5:52 to play in the fourth quarter. Milford with an 8-point lead, up 49-41 on Foxboro on this Friday the 13th here on Milford TV. Foxboro shooting free throws coming on at the timeout. Brandon Board at the line. Board, after a couple of misses earlier in this fourth quarter, able to land the first. This is the second.
Board, the lone freshman on this Foxboro team, and he showed a lot of promise.
Tomorrow looking for a passing partner. Lost control of the ball. Here's Few the other way, uncontested. Things starting to get uncomfortably close here.
Well, we didn't expect Foxboro to go down quietly, especially with the talent that they had. They've been doing it basically without Mark Clagg. He's been very quiet tonight. Morrison has heated up a little bit here in the second half, and Few has maintained his level of play.
A game like this is where the free throw shooting really is going to become crucial down the stretch. We've talked about the issues that Milford has had from the line recently. 2 good makes that time from Shane Cosquet. They're going to need them if they hope to maintain this lead. Still a long way to go in this one, just under 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, Milford has had a problem finishing out games, and this will be a good learning experience for them, especially with a close game at home. If they can pull this one out, that would be a great win and a good learning experience.
Caden Kelly, good pass to Shane Cosquet, who goes uncontested to the rack.
Not only was it a good pass, it was even better cut. Cosquet saw the open lane, no one was there, and his defender just didn't follow him to the basket. Good vision by Kelly, able to get an easy layup for Milford.
Foxboro lobbing a bit of a dangerous pass up the floor, but they keep control. Few drives baseline, tosses up the reverse lay-in and gets it to fall.
And he's good for a couple of those so far tonight. He doesn't make it easy down low. He's only had a few easy baskets. Only a few of them have been an up and under like that, but seems to have it perfected.
Jermaine Few up to 14 points for Foxboro. Kelly handcuffed by that pass from Arcudi, and it's picked off. 53-46. Coming down to the midway point of this fourth quarter. They close in on Board. They dish the pass back outside. They find Mayer. Now back into Board. Jump shot no good. Few tried to tip it in, but it ends up in the hands of Shane Cosquet. White pass in the direction of Nate Davila, but it ends up ricocheting beyond the cheerleaders, out of play.
And the turnovers are racking up for Milford, and they're killing themselves on turnovers. And it's a 7-point lead right now, but if Milford are able to maintain some of those possessions that they've turned the ball over, this could be a little bit more breathing room for Milford.
Tipped ball in the lane, ends up with the Scarlet Hawks. Here's Cosquet in motion, hesitates, ends up taking the contact.
And the Hawks are lucky that Foxboro has turned the ball over pretty much just as much as they have. That time Cosquet again with a little stutter step move right around the 3-point arc. And he draws the foul and goes to the line for 2 shots.
Milford's head football coach Joe Todd has been intently watching this game from just beyond the doorway to the locker room. Turnover is something that he is certainly not a fan of on the gridiron.
He's probably scouting out some players. He's losing a couple of talents from his squad this year, so he'll return Caden Kelly, but I'm sure he's probably making sure Caden Kelly doesn't get hurt. That would be a devastating blow, but he's played very well tonight.
The lead is back to 9 for Milford, but only momentarily as Foxboro, who's become a bit of a one-man wrecking crew. Jermaine Few continuing to get it done inside for the Warriors.
Battle of the big fellas tonight, Caden Kelly versus Jermaine Few.
A little more than 3 minutes left to play as Tamani now resets things on the floor. Hands the ball off to Kosket. Kosket against Clegg. Now it's Tamani with the shot clock winding down. He weaves his way inside and lays it in.
And that's the difference between Caden Kelly and Jermaine Few. Kelly would have gone up and contested that shot, and I said it a little bit earlier, Few doesn't look very comfortable on the defensive end, mostly on the offensive end. That one should have been a fairly easy block, but Tamani will take it, and he gets the 2 points.
The ball knocked free on the other end of the floor. Kicked ball by Milford keeps it with Foxboro. It's Morrison out to Mayer. Now lobs the pass back to Morrison, just able to control it. Now all the way the length of the floor to Mark Clegg. Foxboro trying to spread out Milford's defense here. They get it back to Clegg. He unleashes the 3. Couple of bounces, nearly goes in. Had about 4 bounces to possibly go in. No luck for Clegg, but he will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, any coach would tell you that you need a little bit of luck on your side as well. And as much as talent plays a factor, that was a lucky bounce for Milford right there. Foxboro wishes they had it. But Clegg will go to the line for 3.
And 2 misses so far for Clegg, with 1 more attempt coming up. That's already 5 missed free throws in this 4th quarter alone for Foxboro, and we'll have Coach Gibbs call the timeout before the final free throw for Mark Clegg, as we're all the way down to 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go. And at this point, as Milford gets into their huddle with Coach Sieber, just going over the strategy here to close out this game, Anthony.
Yeah, it's really been, again, a tale of the defensive end. They've allowed some easy baskets here tonight that Coach Sieber probably doesn't like, but again, shutting down the team's best scorer, Mark Clegg, tonight. He's not even close to the 15 that he averages in the season, and they've really been beaten by Jermaine Few, but Kelly's just been answering them down low. So if I were them, I got to go back to Kelly down low, draw some fouls, make their free throws. And if I'm Foxboro, I didn't see Barrera out on the court. He's been, other than Few, he's been one of their best scorers tonight. So I think you got to get some looks for Barrera and Morrison and keep going down low to Few and try to get to the line and score without the clock running.
So far, Jermaine Few has been the only reason that they are still within striking distance in this game. He has 12 points in the second half. 6 in the 3rd quarter, now 6 here in the 4th. Right now, the point differential in the game at 9 as both teams retake the floor. Clegg with 1 more free throw coming up. He missed the first 2. And all 3 attempts misses for Mark Clegg.
And you bet he wishes that bouncing ball off the rim went in now, because he doesn't get anything out of that trip to the line, and he would have had at least 3 if that ball bounced in.
Mayer nearly stealing that one from Kosket. Kosket now in trouble, gets the pass away to Tamani. Tamani now pulls up for the shot and gets it to rattle home.
And that was just another play by Few. He got caught out covering Tamani along the 3-point line and basically just left him wide open for an easy jump shot.
Zach Tamani has come alive in this 4th quarter with 6 points. Few the long pass to Clegg. He unleashes the 3. The shooting woes continue for the senior Mark Clegg.
He's been pulling up from way behind the arc. I think you said it earlier, Tim. He hasn't made himself an easy shot all night. He's been taking them from way downtown.
Now Tamani for three, he knocks it down. Back-to-back buckets for Zach Tamani as Milford ups the lead to 62-48.
It was only a matter of time before Zach Tamani was going to heat up, and he's doing it at the right time. Just when the game was starting to get a little bit close, Foxboro looking like they were going to crawl back into it. Tamani has stepped up his play to complement Caden Kelly.
Few able to out-hustle Kelly for the offensive rebound, and then Milford called for the foul. A quick release. Few trying to get that free throw in before the student section could get started.
Milford goes back to their starting five now, which they'll probably stick with for the last 110 in the game.
Few makes one of two. It's a 13-point lead now for Milford as Tamani and Morrison go down.
I love that from Coach Seaver, just yelling out to his guys, we're not done yet. It's still 106, and it doesn't seem like a lot of time, but hit a couple of threes, and Foxboro's right back in this game. And you know, we've seen a couple of sloppy turnovers from Milford tonight, so they still have a long way to go in this game, and a lot could happen.
Milford entering into action tonight, as Anthony mentioned, in the open, in sole possession of first place in the Davenport standings. A 5-3 record overall, 3-2 within league play. Foxboro in second place at 3-4 overall, 2-3 in league play. One thing to continue to keep in mind, which has been a little confusing to the various media outlets so far this season, as Tamani misses the first free throw attempt. Both of Milford's games this season against Malden High School will not count towards their overall record. So Milford with a loss to Malden 60-41 back on December 23rd. That will not be reflected in their schedule, nor will their matchup here in Milford on February 22nd.
I believe I said that they were 5-4 in the pregame, so I was just basing it off Hawk Sports, so my apologies.
Awkward pass, pulled in by Mark Plagg, and from even further outside than we've been seeing, he's able to knock down that one. He just seems more comfortable the further beyond the arc he is.
I guess when you're a 4-year varsity player, you get a little bit of leeway, and Coach Gibb allowing, or I don't know if he allowed, but he didn't seem too upset. But yeah, Mark Plagg pulling up from way downtown.
Inside of the final 30 seconds of this one.
Foxboro took a long time to foul. I don't know if they're just giving up in this game, but it was kind of tough to play out that possession, as I think Plagg is fouled out. What a way to go out, though. What a long three he just took, but a little bit too late. Could have used that earlier in the game.
Just 8 points on the night for Mark Plagg. Just a tough night for him. A good job for Milford defensively. And as Kosket knocks down the first free throw. This is the second game in a row now, Anthony. We've seen Milford commit to taking away that top scoring threat. They were able to do it with Devin Foster of Canton earlier this week, and now doing it for Mark Plagg here tonight. Almost a Bill Belichick approach.
Absolutely. They're just taking away the best offensive threat for the other team. And in an interview earlier in the season that Coach Seaver had, he said, I believe that this is the best defensive team that I've had, quote. So Coach Seaver has a lot of trust in his defense, and the guys are very confident out there when they're going up against some of the best in the Hawks. So another good win for Milford tonight. They'll just let the clock run down, but like I said, just an excellent defensive effort by Milford tonight, and they put it together at the offensive end at the right times.
You had that one final exclamation point defensively as Tamani was able to tip the pass into the hands of Caden Kelly, and Milford then able to wind down those final 13 seconds of the clock, and Milford is able to walk away with the 65-52 victory over their rivals from Foxboro. And it has been a long time since Milford has earned a victory over Foxboro on the basketball court, and this one is certainly a sweet victory, Anthony.
Absolutely, they really played very well. It was close for a lot of the game, and then they finally got ahead, and then Foxboro started coming back, but then right at the right time, Milford just started knocking down their shots. Zach Tamani really came alive in the second half. Caden Kelly was a force throughout the entire game. Shane Kosket, just another excellent complement piece to this offense, and they did a good job on the defensive end as well. We talked about it, taking away the offense's best scoring threat, and they're right in the 3-game win streak right now, and I believe it's 4 out of their last 5 with the loss to Medway mixed in, and that looks like maybe a little bit of a fluke. They led for most of that game and only lost by 1, so Milford's playing some very impressive basketball now. They'll move to 6-3 with not including that loss to Malden, so they're playing very, very well right now. They're only a couple of wins away from qualifying for the tournament, and at this point last year they weren't even thinking about the tournament. So Coach Seaver really has this team right where they want them. The senior leadership is just doing an excellent job for this team, and Milford is just clicking on all cylinders right now. Very, very impressive few wins for Milford. And let me just say, as I go back to school, I want to thank Milford TV and Tim and Rob specifically. It's been excellent helping out on some of this coverage, and sorry to break away from a little bit of the game here, but I just want to say it's a great opportunity, and I just want to thank you guys very, very much. I've had a great time, and I hope to be back covering some spring athletics and then ultimately Legion in the summer. So thank you guys very, very much.
Well, Anthony, it's been a pleasure as always working with you in this first stretch of the season for both boys and girls basketball. We look forward to having you back later on in the spring, but meanwhile, Anthony will head back to Syracuse University, where he's doing some great work out there, studying to do this very thing up there at Syracuse. So we appreciate Anthony's time. A good win for Milford on the floor here tonight as they improve to 6-3 overall on the season. Foxboro with the loss, they drop to 3-5 overall on the year. Milford will head out on the road for their next game. That will come up early next week with a contest against Sharon before they're back home on January 24th for a game against Oliver Ames. We will have girls basketball action for you finally after what seems like more than a month, coming up next Wednesday as the girls take on Hopedale. That is when we will be with you next, but in the meantime, a big thank you to all of our Milford TV crew on hand for the game tonight. Our director, Rob O'Keefe, our camera operators, Mike Sperling, Malcolm Zale, and John Giacomuzzi. And one more time for this season, for Anthony Mazzini, I am Tim Coette. Your final score, one final time, 65-52. So long, everybody.